But moving forward in this pack, I think is going to kind of require a mob farm. And up to this point, I've actually been mob farm free for once in a mod pack. Well, until today, because underneath the under pressure section, which we are working on right here under the main quest line, I'm looking at this and I'm going, you know what? Yeah, this is going to require us to have ender pearls in supply. And there's a couple of ways we can go about this, but the easiest way to get ender pearls is probably going to be by just simply setting up some sort of mob farm. And thankfully we do have one of the better mods to be able to do this, mob grinding utils, which makes mob farms incredibly nice. And now I do remember this section right here in the getting started like quest line, and it definitely mentioned, yeah, build a dark room somewhere underwater about 24 blocks away from you. So we could build a typical dark room, but I'm almost positive that we can also get mobs to spawn if we can make some of that dirt from mob grinding utils. And wouldn't you know it, to be able to actually get some of the GM cursed chicken feed, which we would need to be able to make that dirt, and to be able to get that rotten egg to make, yeah, the dreadful dirt. Yeah, it looks like we got to get into a little bit of Ars Nouveau. I'm almost positive at this point, every single one of these I've seen, you guys have also gotten to see. Look at that, it's a hammer upgrade. Okay. Now this roll looks a little bit different here. I'm getting some different stuff from the ship drop. More AE stuff, and I am super happy about that because, well, today, like I said, we're going to be diving a bit deeper into more of that, but the primary focus though is mob farm still. So speaking of mob farm and also getting into ours, which like I said, we kind of have to touch on a little bit, I went ahead and made a room that should work out really nicely for ours. And this of course is spread out symmetrically. So you can see now here, I have my 4 rooms up here, the 2 that are right underneath. And then of course we have the big chamber rooms that I want to get factory stuff set up in. Eventually I'm going to clean up this mess. That's going to be once we have a little bit more power, but yeah. This I think will work well for ours. Now getting started with ours, we will need a little bit of stone primarily and some gold, which we do have a lot of. Now vexing archwood saplings, these bad boys are the things that we've actually gotten through airdrops. But they are craftable actually with the atomic reconstructor. You're able to technically make them from crimson fungus, it looks like. And today, technically this should totally be enough. Just using these saplings alone, yeah, I mean, this is going to work out just fine, because the primary thing we're going to need from this is, of course, just the archwood itself. And this is really the only way you can get it, right, is just straight from this tree. Now, eventually we will need all of the different sapling types, but that requires us to dive a bit heavier into ours than just this. Now, since we're getting into this, I would like to show off a couple of tips and tricks. For example, the imbuement chamber here. So the imbuement chamber is one of the first things that we're going to need to make. I typically like to make 6 of them and then grab myself some lapis and get started by just placing these down like so. And I right click all of these and just let them do their thing. They're going to take a little bit of time to process, but while you're working on other stuff, you'll turn around and next thing you know, these things will be completely converted. Now our goal is to make source gems, and we can automate this process incredibly early. So long as you have at least 5 of these source gems, yeah, this thing can be automated with hoppers. And so if we just place a hopper down like this, same one over here, and then we go ahead and collect all of these that we just made and only place them here and here. Or actually on, not, well, I guess we could place them on the wall like that. That's new, actually. You weren't always able to do this. Wait a minute, I just discovered something new. Oh, that is so cool looking. Okay, so yeah, apparently you can place them on the wall, just like so. But the last time I played with this, you weren't able to, like these weren't auto-filterable, right? So that means that if I went ahead and placed a lapis in here, it will probably automatically get pulled out and put down into here. Now, the way we can solve this is, well, we don't give the hopper any other choice other than collecting anything that it's a source gem. So this is essentially us filtering our hopper by doing this. And once we have that set, then we just place a barrel up here and we can just fill this with some lapis, right? So we have tons of lapis. We have it in block form. So yeah, we'll just fill this in here. And before we know it, we're going to have tons of source gems. Notice, by the way, these are processing up and yeah, we'll just end up with 5 stacks of source gems before we know it. Now, the primary reason for needing source gems is, well, to be able to craft all of the components and different like machines and stands that this mod uses. For example, source stone this is the primary use for these source gems. And we're going to need a little bit of this material here to be able to make things, for example, like the arcane core, which is a primary crafting unit. And then we also have the apparatus, which does go on top of this. I typically like to have this in the middle of the room. And yes, this is a pretty cool looking structure. Now this is, however, missing a few things, and that is the stands. Or I guess I should call them by their actual name, the arcane pedestals, which you can also, by the way, turn into arcane platforms, which is really nice. This is going to be used actually for a lot of different applications. Now I am still waiting for this to produce enough. Like I said, it might still be better before you have these to like still have 6 more so you can quickly make these things. But yeah, to be able to also generate source, we can use these pedestals as well. For example, for the volcanic source link, which is a pretty decent way of generating source early on through coal. Or shoot, even in this pack, through lava automation, which, I mean, is really easy to do. Yeah, it would be really hard to not recommend automating the volcanic source link to be able to generate your first source. So speaking of first source, let's go ahead and give our source somewhere to go, and that is through a source jar. This is going to be something that we need, and probably want it actually close to our arcane pedestal, or just within range, right? Within a few blocks or so, give or take. I think this is definitely within range. And I can also go ahead and set my volcanic right here. And then let's give it a pedestal back behind it. That way we have somewhere to put the thing that it is going to consume to generate source. To automate this, we can attach a hopper to the top or bottom and then just go ahead and put some coal in here for right now. This will then consume that coal and then should send a burst once it has enough. There we go, into the source shard. This is probably one of the fastest ways early on to generate source, but there is a way we could use lava directly. However, it does require a little bit of a process to get up and running. And that is possible due to the fact that there is Starbuncle Mania in here, meaning we could use a fluid source link, which is something that this mod adds, which allows us to use different fluids here to technically generate source, lava being one of them. That's something for me to worry about in the future. Right now, I have my eyes set on, well, getting that mob farm up and running. So if I place the imbuement chamber here next to some source, we can now get that craft going. Remember, we were after this GM chicken feed. And now, so I do have another problem. I don't have any chickens yet, but this requires source. We have the imbuement chamber. We put the solium seed in, and we should get the chicken feed out. So to get the seed, that also does require a little bit. We are going to need some wheat seeds, and we need to make our first prosperity seeds with our jar. So some good old prosperity, and this needs to be added and placed inside of a normal jar that has nothing going on it. Yeah, just like this one right here, regular old tempered jar. So when we put some seeds in here and we put our prosperity, we can mix these together, and that should give us our prosperity seeds. Slap an automator on there and we are going to be looking good. And then whenever we combine this with the solium that we now have and have a ton of because it's automated, yep, we just simply need to go back over here with our R stuff and use a little bit of that source that we just generated. So by clicking that in here, you can see it is going to pull the source out. And to be fair, we probably didn't actually need to generate source for this because this also needs source and takes a little bit of time to convert, but it does speed up the process. And now I've shown you how to generate some source, which we can also use in the future. And it's almost like hand in hand. Funny thing is, the mob farm that we're going to generate can actually also generate source for us. Now back to figuring out how we're now going to get a chicken to be able to use this GM chicken feed on. Because that is actually how you get that egg, right? We have to sacrifice a chicken. So this now leads us into something that I didn't really touch early on in the beginning quest, and that is getting mystical agriculture sort of set up, or not really. We just really need to get the basic infusion altar in place. Now, I do plan on having like this set up in this room, and I was originally wanting to put some of these farms in here. So it kind of makes perfect sense to actually have this. Like you can get this started right now. And it shouldn't be too bad for us to obtain, right? All of this stuff is pretty straightforward, right? And I'm pretty sure I have a plenty of poppies. I might actually want to check. Ooh, I am very limited on those, but we can get these. Remember, if we have grass seeds and we have dirt, and so long as we are underneath the water level, we can actually grow poppies like no problem whatsoever. So maybe what I can actually do is get some of this replaced with dirt. I think that'll be perfect, right? And then I can convert it to grass and make this area look hopefully nice and lush. If I expand this out, yeah, I think covering like this area would look pretty darn good. Yeah, this is definitely the way to go about it. And we can get tons of seeds, poppies, dandelions. Just so long as you're underneath that water level, this should work. And so here we go. And I completely forgot, even though I was grabbing poppies and got this all set up, I had red wool, of course, because the airships have red wool on them. So I guess now, moment of truth, we place this down and then we just place these all around. Very easy multi-block to set up, and now it's technically ready to go. However, I always suggest taking this and making it a little bit easier to handle so you don't have to toggle it with a lever. Just use a redstone block and just place the redstone block directly underneath it. And now, whenever it has all the ingredients, it will auto-craft. And quest complete. And we got ourselves a cuddler. Is that a ship? That is a ship, it looks like. Okay, that's interesting. But yes, we need to now craft this, which looks like it uses any flour and some kelp, and it looks like in the middle a slime ball. And this, whenever we complete this, we'll end up summoning 6 cows, 6 chickens, 6 sheep, 6 pigs, and 6 rabbits. Rabbits. My goodness, try saying that 6 times fast. Okay, I know you want to see what this looks like, but what is this medieval looking ship? Oh! Oh no! 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 Off the land! Oh, okay, well, at least we know what it looks like, and I don't think I can get it back. Oh, no. Oh, it's super, oh! Okay, yeah, no, oh my goodness, it breaks down into all of its components. I tried to place it in the water. I kind of want to just leave that there. You know what, I just want to... It's good decoration. Now you can see why I didn't use that mod from the start. But I guess here we go. Let's go ahead and get all of the items in. It was like 4 flowers, 4 kelp, and then last but not least, a slime ball. And there we go. We're making a gateway pearl. This is going to be fun. Okay, so these are kind of like mini waves, like mini bosses. Whenever I summon this, it should spawn in waves of mobs. And I'm hoping those waves of mobs stay contained within this area. That's what I'm hoping. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, baby zombies. Nice. Regular zombies. The interesting part, though, is we have to get through all of these waves, right? Oh, it did spawn some up top. That does make it a little bit more challenging. You know what? I can pop a hole here and a hole here. And then I can actually go up. Yeah, and take these guys out. But yes, so the unfortunate thing, I was reading on this, if this does actually fail, oh, you get some wheat. If it does fail, unfortunately, it kind of runs into a problem where it said it will explode, which is kind of concerning, just, you know, a little bit concerning. I think we should be fine. Like, we have really nice armor at this point. This thing does so much attack damage. Do we have a missing one? How did it go all the way over there? Yeah, this is kind of a problem, right? Floating spiders. Yeah, disgusting. Oh, goodness. All right, but anyways, if it does fail, it did say that it'll cause an explosion, a radius of 2, which actually sounds really scary. That guy is in souped up armor. Okay. Got him. Whew. I feel like their health is definitely higher. They are hitting pretty hard. And do we have one more outside? Yep. Ah, nice. Spider out here. There are time limits on these, by the way. If you do not finish in time, yeah, trouble. A little bit of trouble. All right, we almost got him. There we go. And that was it. Was that the final wave? No. Oh no. Final wave starting now. I think this is the final wave. Come on. Oh, there's the boss. The Necro Farmer? Is that what that says? Don't want to mess with that guy. All right, how much health you got? Oh wow, you're dead. I'm assuming that was the boss. Oh wait, there's another guy over here, and there's more up here. We have to finish them all off, or it doesn't count. Thankfully, you get little particles like this, though. Let's head down here. Hello, fella. Ow. And that was it. Okay, and then the mobs all explode into your base. Okay, perfect. I got items in my face. Holy smokes, he gave us so many saplings. Man, that would have been tough, though, I think, to do early on. Especially as soon as I got all of these stuff, I'd have been like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do here? But, hey, look, we got ourselves some chickens. So, the first thing to do with a chicken, of course, is to... Yep. And now we have a rotten egg. Oh my goodness, these things spawned in the middle of the base as well. What? Now we get to start actually building the mob farm. Cool part about this, right, is we can go ahead and place another observatory just like this, but we're going to do two of them. I'm going to have one on the left side down here and one on the right. And one will be like a normal hostile mob farm, and one of them might be not really a passive mob farm, because doing that isn't going to be that great, but maybe this one will be more like for spawners specifically. So let's see, if I put this here, now this is made up, by the way, of the clear glass, but I should be able to swap this glass out for the actual tinted glass, which will be entirely dark. Or maybe not. I don't know how hard this is actually going to be. This is Blaze Ember, which has an interesting process that we need to go through to actually get it. And this is technically what you need to make the tinted glass. You know what though? I was doing some checking here, and actually turns out that these are actually light level 0. So if I use F3 here, I can actually see on my client light on the left-hand side, about 5 down from the middle, you can see that this goes from like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 0 in this room. So long as I don't have a light source directly here. So I guess let's go ahead and get to building this farm, and you're going to be surprised by how compact this farm can be. I really do love mob grinding utils. I've learned a lot about this mod over the years, and we can actually set up a pretty efficient farm in just this limited amount of space right here. So yes, I do need some room underneath that I'm going to apply some redstone to this from, but as of right now, this farm is ready to go. I do want to light it up. I don't want anything spawning just yet, but technically this right here is good to go. A couple of tools I'm going to need, a mob masher, and then I'm also going to need probably a tank. And these jumbo tanks can hold quite a bit of fluid. And then I guess a absorption hopper. Yeah, this would be kind of nice to get as well. And man, here soon, we're going to be rolling in the ender pearls if this works like I'm hoping it does. Now, I guess the goal right here is to have a fan in the back that is going to blow the mobs right here. And we might end up setting, I think, some trapdoors possibly up on the side here, just to kind of keep the mobs from going off the edge. And I think one fan is probably going to be enough. And then down here, what we can do is we can set up something like this with these entity conveyors from the mod and funnel everything directly into this central point. Yeah, and I think this would work rather nice. And then to complete the mob crushing, bam, we have ourselves the mob masher, which does need a redstone signal. But for now, you know what? Let's make sure to get rid of this so we can set up the rest of the farm. Now, how are we going to make this bad boy fast? Well, that is going to be with the help of cog blocks, a redstone torch, and well, the good old redstone clock, which kind of saves us a lot of space. But the redstone cogs are pretty cool, as they are like redstone wiring that can go vertical. However, they do have a little bit of a problem when it comes to, for example, receiving a redstone signal directly from something like the redstone clock. You'll see it constantly stays on, which is not exactly what we want, because it's technically powering the redstone clock, which then shuts the redstone clock off. So yes, to avoid that, what we can actually do is place the redstone clock down. This is going to pulse, and we can go ahead and get this all the way up to max, and then now it's at 5, so it's going to be very, very quick, and put a redstone torch on here. That's going to pulse the redstone torch. And look what it's doing here. It's pulsing the cog blocks. And so if we set it up just like this, every single one of these blocks are now receiving a redstone signal and technically being pulsed. Now, every time I build one of these mob farms that's going to use this dirt, I tend to like to leave a block gap along the side. And that's because slimes and stuff like that typically like to spawn over here. And this can cause quite a bit of an issue, right? Where you'll have mobs that get stuck inside of your walls and they'll end up like outside of the farm that you actually want them to be in. And our goal is to actually keep them contained. So that's why I have this block gap. Now right here, I have my mob fan ready to go. We do have to put some expansion upgrades in here, but I do want to figure out how to fill this gap. And I was thinking, I guess I could fill the gap here with some of these slabs like this and fill it in with concrete. It seems kind of fitting. Now you can't pass redstone signals through glass, so I can't place a lever directly on here, but I did go ahead and place a block up here so that way I can control it from the inside. And we just got to put one of the width modifiers on here. That is plenty to push these mobs. That is going to be perfect. And same on this side, we're going to want to make sure that all of these are here so that way they push everything directly to the center, which ultimately will land right in the mob crusher. I know it's a lot, but I really like to make sure my mob farms are perfect before turning them on. Otherwise it could lead to, well, catastrophe. Okay, so we're almost ready. I do want to grab some more glass because as of right now, we'll just be, I guess, using clear glass for this. I still want this to be placed here, right? And then I guess this is enough light. I'm using this block right here. So what will happen is whenever I turn this off, which we're going to have the glass right here, whenever I turn this off, the mobs should be able to spawn in here with the light level being low enough. Of course, we can check. Should be what, light level 0. And yeah, client light says right here it is at 0. So that should be more than dark enough to work. Okay. So I guess we can place the mob masher down. Make sure the fans are on. Make sure we're not placing blocks randomly like I just did. Let me break you before I end up dying to that. There we go. That is all on. That is ready to go. And I guess last but not least, make sure this is turned on. Use our rotten egg on the center point here. That converts it to the dreadful dirt. And last but not least, cover this with some glass. And fingers crossed that it's dark enough and mobs start spawning. Oh, that is so good. Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want to see. All right, turning this back on. And Enderman as well. Oh yeah, this is going to be great. Now, we do need an Ender inhibitor in here to prevent Enderman from teleporting anywhere, even though, I mean, there's not a lot of places they can even teleport. But still, this might be a problem, however. So I think this slight fix should work. That should definitely send the spiders into here and they shouldn't end up causing any problems. Of course, fingers crossed on that. But yeah, mob grinding utilities does have an Ender inhibitor. This will help us with our Enderman problems, just to make sure that they don't teleport anywhere. And it is preferred to have it like right here by your spawner. And then we need to set up the collector for all of our stuff. And yes, I might have to be out of shaders to technically be able to see the area. Oh, or maybe not actually, because right there's the area. Okay, so it's going to be really hard to see what direction I am sending this. It looks like sending it this way is going in the right direction. And that looks like it's technically covering the entire room. I'm going to call that good. And then we just need to figure out if we're looking this way, that is south. So the south direction is going to be like a chest. And I've got to have like a chest here. This is diamond to crystal. Let's go ahead and like upgrade this. So there's a copper, iron, gold. We'll upgrade it all the way to the diamond chest. Might as well. Place that there. Okay. And then last but not least, we want to make sure this is set to south items, just like that. Then our tank, which we made, is going to hold our fluid XP for right now. I think it would be actually better though, possibly letting Dyer's mod collect it, or we could send it directly to here. That might be a good idea, using the actual XP collector. So let's go ahead and grab this real quick and pop it right down here. Nice. And yeah, on this, I mean, we could, I think, set it up just like so, and then that would mean the north side is going to be fluids. And that should accept the XP that this provides. And we can actually set this to default and not really worry about anything here. And yeah, we don't want it to collect experience or anything like that. We just want it to collect all of the total experience. Let's turn this on. Let's see if it's actually going to work. We should see XP collecting here. Make sure our magnet's off. Items are going in there. XP is... Oh my gosh. XP is not building up in here. Okay, so there is a fix for this technically. And I did see that airdrop incoming. By the way, we're getting drowned parts from Nautec from setting this up. And Nautilus shells? What in the world? Okay, no ender pearls just yet. But, I mean, we'll put some looting upgrades on here and it's going to be really good. All right, airdrop is landed. What I'm going to need to do, though, is show the render area for this. And then we'll just expand this back and figure out the area that this needs to be contained in. So just like that. So within that area, I think is good. We'll move it over right here. And then we need to expand this a little bit. Probably like so. Yeah, that should be perfectly fine. And then this is already set to 1 tick. And what it's going to do is it will collect the experience from this area. Once this is completely filled, it'll have nowhere else for the experience to go. And then this should collect all of the other remaining experience. Well, it actually might be faster than the actual absorption hoppers, so it might kick off automatically. Yeah. And we might start seeing this going up before we know it. Yeah, it completely beats it. It's so much faster. Okay, perfect. Now, I was trying to think of ways that I could inventory manage. And well, as of right now, we have this, of course, diamond chest. It's pretty, it's okay. It's okay, but it's not sophisticated storage. So we have an alternative, and that is a backpack. Now, the cool part about the backpack is we have a lot more functionality in here inside of the backpack with upgrades and such. However, most of the backpack upgrades, we have to get via looting. So if we take a look at the upgrades we currently have, thankfully we do have a void upgrade, and that is going to be actually huge. So it's not an advanced void or anything. It's just a plain Jane void. I mean, that alone though will be great for the items that we're currently getting. I'm hoping eventually, yeah, it looks like the purple ones, we can find the advanced upgrades. We got to do a bit more nether farming to be able to find one of those. But I mean, just for default right here, we do get 9 individual slots that we can do. And, that's going to be great because yeah, I definitely want to avoid bows. Like bows are going to fill this thing up super fast. We probably want to get rid of anything with like golden gear. And also potion bottles are really going to clog this thing up. I mean, that's basically it though, as of right now. And if we turn this on in the works in the GUI, we can go ahead and actually delete them right like so. Perfect. Now with my filter set, yeah, I think we're ready to just let this go for a little while. Unfortunately, though, we have no way of technically toggling this off without it potentially overflowing. There is a way we could do this, but it is going to involve like some janky redstone, and I think I'm just going to keep my eye on this. Something I will do, though, is definitely throw in some looting and probably even beheading if we can. And definitely some sharpness. Yeah, it's just a lot of sword crafting. Now with this setup, we should have less of a chance of things sort of breaking on us and like witches potentially getting out and not dying. So this should almost instantly kill everything. Yeah, as soon as it reaches the location. However, the looting does start to cause some problems. Oh yeah, we're also gonna be getting more gear. Okay, so now looking at this, I do have some compacting upgrades for the backpack that I also found. I have 2 of them, right? This could be helpful for a couple of different reasons, right? We have string. This could be compacted into wool, which will help us with applied energistics. But I was thinking, what if we just invert our filter and turn this into a deny, and that way we void everything except for very, very specific things that we constantly want to keep. For example, ender pearls, right? I'm always going to want ender pearls. Don't really need redstone or anything like that. But I do want to keep string because we want to turn it into wool and things like that, right? So yeah, and as far as I can think, the only thing that I'm really going to want to keep right now is string, ender pearls, and nautilus shells, and also feathers. And then for the compacting upgrade, we also want to do wool. Because wool is going to be something that is generated that'll be in the backpack whenever the compacting upgrade upgrades. So that is going to be interesting. And I don't think like there's anything except for string, right? That should auto compact. At least the string should compact, right? When we put this in here, it says it'll do 2x2 recipes, but oh, there is a setting, compact only uncraftable. If we do compact anything, then when these go in, they should hopefully compact, right? Block, allow. Oh man. Oh, yep, there it went. I just had to toggle work in GUI. You can see it automatically turned into wool. Okay, so yeah, we're looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and clear a lot of this out and kind of restart and see if this is going to work correctly. All right, very effective mob farm. Start. Oh my goodness. Wait, those things spawn? Apparently. Okay, that was interesting and I wasn't expecting that. Just to make sure, do those things drop amethyst? I know they drop like a food source and I definitely want to keep that if they do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they drop this like crab meat. I'm just going to store all of them. I don't remember which one. I think it's this right here, the amethyst crab meat. But if they also drop amethyst shards, I have not gotten amethyst shards yet. So that could be super cool if we get another one of those spawned. But my goodness, isn't that a sight to see right there? Look at those mobs just to spawn in and just to be farmed. Ah, so good. And we have tons and tons of stuff in here now. Look at this. So anytime we want any other things, like for example, I do like having feathers and string and wool. Like anytime we want to add something, we just add it to this list. Because I'm pretty sure the blessed amethyst crab meat, not one of the ones we want, but man, look at the saturation on the amethyst crab meat we're getting. Like this is just ridiculous. So many ender pearls. And that was my primary concern, was figuring out a way to get tons of ender pearls because we're going to need them for so many things in the future. And not to mention the pride and joy that is the experience that builds up from this, because this, yes, does create a lot of experience. And all of those levels are going to be super, super helpful if we want to enchant and get our gear feeling nice. Well, outside of the gear that we're currently wearing, as I still don't think you can enchant this. So what an adventure it was today to get a mob farm set up. I wasn't actually expecting it to go that way, but you know what? It was rather fun to get all of the components needed and to be able to create such a fast mob farm that is being pulsed with redstone in just a 3x3 block space. I mean, you can't beat it. If you did learn something today and you did enjoy today's video, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I do really appreciate it. Also, don't forget, check me out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/ChosenArchitect. You don't want to miss me live over there. We do a lot of fun stuff, currently playing on an SMP, all kinds of fun jazz just like that. So definitely check me out over there and follow me over on the Discord, or join the Discord, I should say. Link down in the description below. We have an amazing community and I'd love for you to join. So with all of that being said, I think it's now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to Benix Brayson. Thank you so much, by the way, for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting me in one of the best ways possible. And guys, I thank all of you so very much and look forward to seeing you, of course, in the comments or in the next video or even over on Twitch. And as always, thanks for watching.